Hey y'all, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this cute little glitter snowman. So to start off, I got this snowman candy jar from Dollar General. It was only $2 and I wasn't sure what I was going to make with it at the time, but I knew I could come up with something cute for it. And I'm also using this large Campbell soup can, it's 22 ounces. And to give our little snowman face a frosty look, I'm using some fake snow and this glitter. We're going to use the Mod Podge and just paint the inside of our little candy jar. You don't want to be too heavy with this. You do just want to do one coat so that way the fake snow and the glitter will stick to it and also so it'll dry clear. Now the face was a little hard to not to be too heavy with. It did fill up the insides of that part, but that doesn't matter too much because we're going to cover that up later with some buttons anyway. But you just want to do one semi-thin coat all the way around the jar. And once you have that completely painted, you're going to fill it with some fake snow and some glitter and just kind of shake it around until it completely covers all of the inside of the jar. Now if you don't want to use the fake snow, you can just use strictly glitter or you can use chunky glitter, whatever you prefer to use. I just didn't have any chunky glitter, so I'm using the fake snow in place of that. And you will just dump out any excess that you have once you've completely coated the inside with the glitter. So now we're just going to set this aside and let it dry, and we can move on to making the hat and the sweater for its body. And I'm just using this old sweater for this. I've used this one sweater for so many different crafts. I'll share some pictures in case you missed them. So I figured the cuff of the sleeve would be perfect to make a little hat from, so I just cut a little piece off for that, and then I'm just going to use the other portion of the sleeve to cover the can with. Old sweaters like this make such cute crafts, so you can go find some at a thrift store, or if you have one that has gotten ruined in storage or has some type of stain or something on it, you can make use of that to make some really cute crafts with it. And I wanted this to wrap around the can more tightly, so I did cut my sleeve in half and then I just wrapped it right around the can. And now we're just going to tuck the bottom portion of it as flat as possible with some hot glue so that it will stand up properly. And then we're going to flip it over and add some hot glue on the inside of the can and then just tuck the sweater right around that to round it off. So now we have a cute little snowman body that we can put our little snowman head on. And now I'm going to move on to making its little hat. So I just wanted to flip up the edge to make it like the little rim of a stocking hat. And I wasn't sure how I was going to do the top portion of the hat at this point, so I did just set it aside for a little bit so I could ponder on it for a little while and moved on to picking out some buttons for our snowman face. So at first I was thinking about doing a little leaf nose. I've done this before with a previous craft, but I didn't really like the way that looked for this one. And then also this little ribbon, but that didn't go very well with it. So again, I just pondered on that for a little bit and moved on to adding little buttons for its eyes and its mouth. So I ended up using these little tiny brown buttons for its mouth, and I just glued those right on top of the spaces that they had already predetermined, even though there was a little gap in here and that kind of bothered me, but I just left it the way it was. And it still looks cute anyway and gives it a little character. So I ended up deciding just painting the nose, and I wasn't too sure about this at first because I do plan on adding lights to our little snowman head, and sometimes lights don't really shine through painted objects too well, so I wasn't sure about that, but I just went with it and just did one kind of thin layer of paint for it, and then I just sprinkled on some glitter while it was still wet just to give it a little sparkle also. So now we're going to revisit the stocking hat. So I did end up trimming off some of that sleeve a little bit because it was a little too long, and then just bunching that together. And I'm using one of the Dollar Tree snowballs as a little pom-pom for his hat. So now to add a little color to this, I'm using this fabric that I got off Amazon as the scarf, and we're going to go ahead and attach his head to the can. So I'm just adding some hot glue and just sticking his head right onto his little body. And I'm just folding over my piece of fabric to give it a little thickness, and I'm also adding some little scarf tails to it as well just to make it look more like a scarf. And we're just going to go ahead and glue that directly around his little neck. So now he has a cute little Christmas scarf, and I did want to add a little color to his hat also, so I created a little bow out of the same fabric and just attached that right on the top corner to give it a little pop of color for the hat as well. Now for the little arms, I'm using these sticks from Hobby Lobby, but you can just use sticks from your yard if you want to. And that's when I decided that I wanted to make him holding something, so I decided to make a little candy cane. So I'm using 10 pipe cleaners and I'm just twisting those together, and I did cut it down a little bit because I wanted it to be the perfect size for him to hold on to it. And I've made a few candy canes like this for a previous craft, and I really like the burlap one that I've made before because it gives it more of a cozy rustic Christmas vibe. So I'm just taking my burlap ribbon and just kind of wrapping that around my pipe cleaners. And I do have to kind of twist and fold the ribbon a little bit so that it will do that angled wrap around our candy cane. And then just closing that up with a little bit of hot glue, and then using my peppermint twine. And I usually wrap that right around when the burlap is folded. I do usually double this up just because I think it looks better that way. And now that I have the peppermint cord on there, I'm just going to bend the tip of this into a shape of a candy cane. Now we have a cute little candy cane for our little snowman to hold. So I'm going to add his little arms and I'm able to just tuck the little stick right underneath his scarf to kind of hide that. So it was good to make his scarf kind of thick so that it came down far enough for me to do that. And I'm just adding a little dab of hot glue on the ends of the stick also so that it will hold on to his little candy cane securely. So now I'm going to add in some fairy lights, and y'all, my camera does not do well with lighting, so it doesn't look as pretty as it does in person. So you'll just have to trust me a little bit on this part. This next angle that I show you gives a little more accurate representation of it. It's just really, really cute with the light shining through it and the glitter sparkling. But it's also really cute without any lighting, so if you don't want to mess with lights, you can just add the glitter and it's still a really cute little project. And this is how he looks at night with the other little snowman that I made. Again, my camera not doing it justice, but it's such a cute little snowman. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.